and as well as that derivation also, na? You are done. Okay, now what is the next thing? Next topic in your book? What is the next thing you have to study? Okay. So we have covered up to some more theory topics are there. Yeah, very boring theory topics are there in this chapter. So drift velocity we have covered, and then we have mobility. Something is given, and some limitations of Ohm's law, and some resistivity topic is also there. All the small theory topics I have to teach you. Okay. So I have to teach you this mobility. Okay. Mobility, mobility is nothing but it's mobility. I also don't know. It is this one. This is the mobility. This is the formula. Drift velocity upon electric field. That is the formula for mobility. Drift velocity upon electric field. That's all. Over. And one more formula is you can put the value drift velocity formula, what we derived in the last this one. So if you put that formula of the drift velocity, you'll get another formula. Okay. Drift velocity E small e capital E by m into tau. This was the drift velocity. If you put it here, this capital E will get cancelled. Answer will come E tau by m. Tau is the relaxation time, m is the mass of the electron, E is the charge of the electron. So this is another formula of mobility. E into tau by m. That is another formula of mobility. Okay, na? No problem, na? It's there in your book also. Okay, you can note it down, please. And then, or you can take a snapshot or you can note it down. Now let us come to the limitations of Ohm's law. Okay. Limitations of Ohm's law. Arey, that Ohm's law, you know about Ohm's law actually. That Ohm's law says that whatever the potential difference you are applying now, that much current will flow actually. Means what is the difference in the potential of these two electrodes? That much amount of current will flow through the resistance. If more potential difference you are applying, more current will flow through the resistor. V is directly proportional to I. Okay. If you draw a graph between V and I, it should be a straight line like this. This is for those material who follow Ohm's law. V is proportional to I. That means Y is proportional to X. That means Y is equal to, so Y is equal to X. Y is equal to X. Okay. So this is just very simple. You can write put here I also. And this is the Ohm's law. Okay. But some people are not following Ohm's law. Some materials. That materials are called non-ohmic materials. Non-ohmic materials. They are not following Ohm's law. different varieties of non-ohmic materials are there. One variety is a semiconductor, which show graph like this. VI graph, semiconductor will show like this. This is a graph, VI graph for semiconductors. Okay. This is the VI graph for the semiconductors. This is the VI graph for the semiconductors. This is a very special. When you study the semiconductor, you will understand. But you can see one thing very clear, that D is not directly proportional to I. It's some curve is there. It's not a straight line. Okay. And even you can see here 0.2, and here you can see -2. That means for 0.2 voltage itself, this much current is there. But for -2 current voltage, only that much current is there. That means more voltage, reverse voltage is required for the same amount of current, and more less forward voltage is required for the same amount of current. Okay, so it's not correct, because it should be always proportional now. So this is a non-ohmic material, semiconductors. Likewise, one more material is there, and it shows the VI characteristic like this. It is also, this is a kind of a non-linear region. Non-linear region. This is a negative resistance. Anyway, huh? So this is also a non-ohmic. This one. This is a gallium arsenide. This is also example of non-ohmic material. Gallium arsenide. Gallium arsenide. Okay. And one more material. Some more materials are like, they are not straight line. That's all. These are not directly. And some materials are like this also. Is not following. Sometimes it is following the straight line behavior, and after some time it is not following the straight line behavior. Okay. Now that topic is also over. Limitations of Ohm's law. Next topic is resistivity. Resistivity is nothing but that resistance is directly proportional to length of the resistor, inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area of the resistor. Length is increased, resistance will increase, and area will increase, resistance will decrease. If you combine, R is proportional to L by A, and if you convert into proportionality, R equal to rho L by A, where rho is called depends on the material and the temperature, and that is called as resistivity of that resistor. What is resistor? Resistor is nothing but a material which opposes the flow of the current through it. It has so many atoms that electrons, whenever they try to move, they collide with the electrons and are not able to move. Because of it, they feel the resistance. Therefore, there is more resistance. Therefore, there is a property called resistance in everything in this world. Every body, every conductor, every insulator, every having some resistance in them, because they have lot of atoms, and that atoms will oppose the motion of the electrons. Because of the resistance, that opposition to the motion of the electron is called resistance. That property is called resistance. Resistance depends on the length. If length is more, resistance is more. It also depends on cross section area. If area of cross section is more, resistance will be less. And if you combine both, R is proportional to L by A, and if you equate it, then there is a constant which comes into picture, which depends on the material as well as the temperature, and that constant is called as resistivity. And unit of resistivity is ohm meter. Ohm meter, 10th class ohm meter. Okay, ohm meter is the 10th class concept, resistivity concept. And in the book, if you can see in the page number in your book 102, page number table 3.1 is given, where the resistivity of different type of material has been listed in your book in table 3.1 in page number 102. Okay. And now I am going to discuss with you, and you should understand one thing, that conductor will have low resistivity and insulators will have highest resistivity. And therefore the resistivity values of the different type of materials are given in the table 3.1. Kindly go through it and have an idea about what is the value or the range of the resistivity for different type of materials. Okay, now I am going to tell you about the color coding for the resistor. If you go to the market and purchase one resistor, it won't be having the written in that is 5 ohm or 2 ohm. In fact, it will have some strips, different color strips, which will tell you that actually if you should know the color coding, which color corresponds to what number, and therefore by seeing the color coding, you can find out what is the value of the resistance of that resistor. So that table is given in table 3.2 in your book. That is given in table 3.2 in your book. Okay. That is given in table 3.2. Shall I show you? Or you can see already. In your book also, you can see in the page number 103. Even I can show you also. You can see this and different colors. And in fact, there is some way of reading. The first two color represent the two numbers. Red means 2 into. Third digit represents the multiplier. Red, third digit is also red, means multiplier is 10 power 2. And the fourth color code represents the tolerance. What do you mean by tolerance? Whenever you manufacture something, you can never manufacture it perfect. If I ask you to manufacture a resistor of 2200 ohms, you can never manufacture exactly 2200 ohms. For that, there I should give you tolerance. Okay, no problem. You can manufacture plus minus 10%. If you are able to manufacture plus minus 10%, plus minus 5%, it's fine for me. That tolerance will be indicated by the fourth color code. If it is silver, 10% tolerance is allowed. If it is gold, 5% tolerance. And if it is no color, then it is allowing 20% tolerance is allowed if there is no color indicated in the fourth band of the color band of the resistor. First two bands represent the two numbers, third band represent the multiplier, and fourth band represent tolerance. In total, which will represent the value of the resistance is represented by the color coding of the resistor. Got it? And now coming to the last theory topic of this chapter, theory topic, temperature dependence of the resistivity. 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 Okay. Temperature dependence of the resistivity. Okay. This I will do a bit, sorry. So temperature dependence of the resistivity of a material depends on the temperature. Okay. If you increase the temperature, what will happen? If you decrease the temperature, what will happen? Whether resistivity will increase or decrease. For that, you should know resistivity depends on the distance between the two atoms, which will increase if you increase the temperature. Okay, that is one thing. It also depends on the, I don't know. Okay, but one thing I can tell you that different materials show different behavior when you increase or decrease the temperature. That graph is shown in the figure 3.9. Figure 3.9, page number 104. One of the copper represents like this. This is the resistivity and this is the temperature. If you are increasing the temperature, resistivity of the copper is increasing. If you increase the temperature, its resistivity is increasing. Okay, but if you see another alloy, nichrome alloy, the resistivity is like this. This is the graph for the resistivity for a nichrome alloy. Okay, and there is another graph which is given in the third graph, which is for a semiconductor, which is reverse. If you increase the temperature, resistivity is decreasing in case of a semiconductor. So semiconductor behave in a different way, copper behave in a different way, and alloy behave in a different way for in case of resistivity with respect to temperature. If temperature is increasing, resistivity will increase. For alloy, it will increase linearly, and for the semiconductor, if you increase the temperature, resistivity will decrease. Okay, so all three behaves in a different manner, and there is a formula given in your book. That formula is rho equal to rho naught 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. Alpha is called the coefficient of temperature. Alpha is called as temperature coefficient of resistivity. Alpha is called as temperature coefficient of resistivity. And T is the temperature, and T naught is the reference temperature, rho naught is the reference resistivity, rho is the resistivity at temperature T. So the rho is resistivity at temperature T can be found as reference resistivity 1 plus alpha value is dependent on the which material you are having. Alpha is for different material, different alpha value will be there. T is the temperature you want to resistivity, T naught is the reference temperature. So rho equal to rho naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. This formula you have to remember for metals. It is applicable for metals. Okay, and one more thing, that resistivity is 1 upon conductivity, and conductivity formula we already derived in the previous derivation. First, the derivation we have done, from the derivation we have derived, and it will come out to be this, and this also you can note down. It's given in your book also, equation number 3.27. It's given in your book also. Okay, right? Okay, very good, very good. Congratulations. We have done 3 theory topics now. Immediately, quickly, we have done 3 theory topics. Very, very good. Okay, and then the next topic, theory topic, is practical energy and power. Okay, it's a big topic and it involves some derivation also. So, okay, we can leave it, not important also. In fact, just I will teach you something about it. And then next class, we can start the combination of resistor, series connection and parallel connection, and all the questions based on series connection and parallel connection. In the next class, we are going to complete it. After that, we are going to start the Wheatstone bridge and meter bridge and potentiometer. All the 3 we will cover in the single class. Wheatstone bridge, meter bridge, and potentiometer. And then the chapter will be over. We'll do the exercise. Okay. So 2 more classes, and this is the biggest chapter of your book, first part. So it will be completed. Okay. And after that, current electricity, new chapter which is going to start is moving charges magnetism, which will be very easy because it is very similar to the first chapter. And the next chapter which you'll see is that very interesting, magnetism and matter. This is a very, very good chapter, very important chapter, and very nice. Okay. Then EMI and all, that is a very new concepts are there. Okay. EMI and all, electromagnetic induction, AC current, these are all new concepts, totally different from what we are studying now. Okay. So that is totally different. Then after that, you have new chapters like electromagnetic waves. That is also totally different chapter. New chapters are there. Okay. So that we'll do one by one. Okay. Okay then. Okay. Bye. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.